prepare this. Sometimes these things happens with the live streaming. Hope you all understand this thing, and hope I am live this time. Let me see. Let me write. Hope I am live this time. Yeah, I think I am live this time. Sorry for the issue. So these things happens. So if something like this will happen, don't worry. I will give some other thing because this is happening for the second time. Something like this will happen. I will give it. Okay. So thanks all, and as always, the attendance sheet will be given at the end. So let me share my screen now. Okay. Okay. So we'll start from where we left yesterday. So we left here yesterday and DOM thing, and we are going to start from there. And as I have told, the DOM today's DOM thing is going to be very very important. So whatever we are, whatever I'm going to teach today is very important because we just learn these things, how to select those all those things. So some people have a lot of confusion there, and also that is obvious because if you're coming from the CSS or other background, you'll have a lot of lot of confusion and all those things. Why we are selecting all these things? What is the thing that we are selecting? So for we have selected now. What we are going to do? We are going to first change. See this all this item 1, item 2, item 3 are there. So we can change this also. Okay. So let me first comment this out and I will provide this code today in the GitHub. Okay, so I will provide this, and now we're going to do some DOM manipulation, not manipulation, manipulation. So this UL, I'm going to select. Hope you're all able to see my screen and all. Let me see. Okay, I think that is good enough font size because I don't want to increase more than this. Okay, so I'm going to come here, and what we're going to learn? We're going to learn some DOM manipulation. First, okay, manipulation. Const ul equal to document dot query selector items. So what I'm selecting actually here, I'm selecting the items, all the items I'm selecting. So that is the document query selection dot items, and even I can do one thing. I will tell ul dot remove. So this remove functionality is there, and let me save it, and now you'll see it is always removed. Although we don't want this remove functionality right now, and then I will do it. What I want to do actually, I want to change this item 1, item 2, item 3. I want to change this to something else. So let us do that. Okay, how to change that to something else? And so I'll come here and ul dot. So ul I've selected. We've seen this thing. What ul will select all of these things, all of the items is there. Where is this items? So all okay, not items. It is no, it is items only because query selector is selecting one thing. So I'm selecting this ul. I'm selecting this ul. So now what to do? So now ul dot first element child. So there is a property known as ul dot first element child and dot text content. Text content. If you want to increase the font size, let me increase the font size also. HTML. So HTML I have written. Then okay, so yeah, so HTML I have written. So see what happened here. HTML. Okay, so it has been changed to this. What I'm just doing, ul will select this whole ul. So what is the first child? First child element is again something which is coming from the DOM. First element child, I'm selecting, which is this. First element child is this, and I'm selecting this text content. This text content is very important. Text content means whatever is inside this thing. It is known as text content, and text content I'm changing to HTML. So this is how powerful HTML is, JavaScript is. And there are some other ways also to do this thing. So let us understand those other ways also. So I'll do ul dot children and one dot inner text. So ul have got a lot of children. So this all are the is children because I'm selecting this. children 0, anytime array start with a 0. Children 0 is this, 1 is this, and 2 is this. So children 1 dot inner text. See, inner text is like text content only. I'm changing the text. So I will save this, and the moment I save this, this is CSS. So this is CSS. Now the next thing which I'm going to do is again I'm going to select the UL dot last element child, and last element child dot inner HTML, h form h3 maybe, and it is Java. So what is this? Last element child is like first element child. That is okay. But what is inner HTML? So inner HTML is different than inner text and text content. What happens in this? I can pass HTML, and this is very powerful. This inner HTML is actually very powerful. We can just pass the HTML here. So I am passing the HTML here like this. Save it. See, it is changed to JavaScript. It is a bold also. It is S3. S3 is much more bigger. So I can pass the HTML also, and this is something which we are going to keep in mind later on because we are going to use it. Okay. So another thing is that I can even change the color and all these things of this. Let us try to change the color of this button. Okay, let us do that. So I'll do that with const btn equal to document dot query selector button. I'm going to set button is what? Button is this button. I'm going to select that button, and I can change the style also with JavaScript. JavaScript is very powerful. So here I have changed the HTML, okay, and change the content of the page. I can change the style also with JavaScript. Okay, btn dot style dot back. Okay, it is sometimes it gives like this, btn dot style dot background color. So here I will use a camel case. Okay, background color equal to red. I am doing. Okay, btn dot style. This is something like your inline CSS, something like inline CSS. But here I have to use a camel case. I cannot give a dash or something here. Here if I have two words, I have to give the camel casing here. But if I have one word, I can like style dot btn dot style. It is not btn dot style dot color is equal to white. I'll do equal to white. I'm done, and save it. Okay, so okay, so that I've done. See, the color has been changed to red. So this is how powerful it is. But see, this color I have taken, and this color is not changing. Okay, so this color I don't have to give it a camel casing. I can give a normal casing. Okay, I don't have to give a camel case there. Okay, so this is like this. Now this is done. Now what we are going to do? We are going to now look into a very important thing known as event listener. So event listener is something which is very important, and that is one of the reasons JavaScript was created. See, when I use a click on this button, what will happen? Something will happen, and that is known as event listener. That event listener thing will happen, and then what will happen in that event listener? I can do anything. So that is one of the main thing for which the JavaScript was created. So button to listen for button events. So to listen for the button events, this thing there should be a continuous program which is keep on running, and then it will the moment the user can click on the button anytime. We're not forcing him or her to click it sometime, or so user can click it anytime. So that should be continuous monitoring, and that is known as event listener, which we have to create. So we are going to create an event listener. So first thing is that we're going to come back to this. I'm going to okay, so I'm selecting this button. This is okay, this color and all this thing is okay, no problem. But btn dot add event listener I'm going to have, and click event listener I'm going to have. So what is this click event listener? It is listening for click. In that, what happens? I have to pass a e. E is known as So whenever in a browser, what happens, there is something known as E. Okay, so E will go there, and suppose I don't, there is one statement which is very much required. So console.log E. What is this E? Which is given to us in the browser. So what is this E? Okay, I'll do this, just this E, and see, the moment I click this button, this E should get fired. So for that, I have to inspect it. Inspect console. I'll go. Okay, so I'll go to this console and I will click it. I'll click it, but see one thing, it is, see this thing quickly, it is getting refreshed. It is getting refreshed. That is not a default, that is a very bad behavior in JavaScript term also and React term also. We have seen that whenever I click something inside a button of type submit, it will refresh it. It is not a good behavior. In the JavaScript world also, in the React world also, it is not a good behavior. When we're going to learn React next week, we're going to see this is not a good behavior, and it comes from the PHP world. This behavior always in browser, what happens, in input type submit is there, which is inside a form, this button, it will refresh the browser. But when it refreshes, a lot of state and all those things goes away. So first thing which you have to do, even my console log is not coming because of that, we have to do that e dot prevent default. E dot prevent default I have to do, and save it, and this is there, and then I'll come back here again and I will submit it. Okay, see, the console log is coming. This software use tell, this is VS Code, and this is the browser. No, and software VS Code is there. Download it for free. Okay, so this click, see this E is something which the browsers gives us, and E has got a lot of things, like you can see a lot of things E has got. So that's why we do this E thing. Okay, E thing, and this is the click is done, and then I'm calling a function actually. At the moment a click is done, this is known as, this function is also known as anonymous function. This is called the moment this click is happen, and I'm calling this function. And we have another way to call this function. I will tell it soon. So E is coming like this, but we don't need the E also, means E dot means okay. Please send the link both softwares. Okay. The only software I'm using is actually VS Code. So if you're not done my uh, bootcamp, so this is a very popular lightweight editor which is completely free to use and all. So you're asking, so I'm giving, it is available for all the systems. I'm using a Mac, but you can use it anywhere in Windows also. So this is the software I'm using. The next one is a browser, just a Firefox Developer Edition browser is there, that you can anyways download it. Any browser you can use, not an issue. So hope it answers the question. So I have given that. Okay, you've got it. So that is there, and it's the most used browser, means it is better than Sublime and Atom. I've tell it a lot of other time also. Okay, so I don't want to do it like this right now. I just want to do what, when the user click this button, I don't want anything to do with E. I just, let me do one thing. Let me copy this one, cut it actually, so it will look very good. Paste it, and even let me try to do one thing now. I'll cut this and paste it, and cut it, save it. So what, see again, this is 1 2 3, and the moment I submit it, okay, submit is not happening now. Okay, I think I have to remove this thing. Okay, I'll actually comment this out right now. Save it. What I'm doing, with the moment I am clicking here, okay, I am changing this item, so not at the start but changing at the end. So moment I am click here, see, it is getting changed. Why is this anonymous function? Anonymous function because it is the way the event listener works. In event listener, you have to give an anonymous function here. The second thing is a function, or you can also call a function from here. We are going to soon see that way also. Either you can give an anonymous function which will execute at this place, or you can give another function also. Both of the methods are like okay. One more thing is that instead of this click, I can have this. There are some other things is also there. So mouse over is also there. Save it. Mouse over. So mouse over, what is? It is not click the, but if I do the mouse, so it is getting changed. So mouse over is also there, but I will do it back to click. That is the most common. The click I have done. So now what we are going to do, we are going to do the main thing as I have told. See, the main thing is this form is there. Okay, this form is there, and what I want to do, I want to take the user name and email, and when the user submits it, I want to show it down here. In real case, what will happen? So this is the anonymous function. This one is the anonymous function. Okay, so in real case, what will happen? Real case, that will be submitted to the backend. So suppose the name and the email I will take, it will submit to the backend, but we are not going to create those backend and all those things right now. So we are going to see how to means just show it here. Okay, I'm going to see that. So the other thing is that means I don't want this anymore. So I will comment this out. I'll comment this out, and I will actually comment all of these things also, because we are going to see a different thing now. And what we are going to see, we are going to add some logic in this form. So for that, we have to select. So, and this is the main thing. This you can think as a small project also. Okay, so const my form equal to document dot query selector my form. I'm doing, what is my form? So my form is again this. My form is this my form id, and then const name input equal to document dot query selector name. So I have a id of name here in this input and id of email here. Okay, and then const email input equal document dot query selector hash email. And there are two more things are there, very important things are there. One is this empty div of message is there. So this is very important thing which I'm telling right now. I'm going to select this also. And another thing is there, this empty ul of users is there, and this is something which we are going to use in JavaScript, and we will add something here, okay, on dynamically. That's why JavaScript means this is something which is very important as a project. So const msg equal to document dot query selector and dot msg is there, and const user list equal to document dot query selector and hash users. So this is id and this is class. Okay, so that is there. So more I've selected all those things, and now I will listen to the form submit. Okay, so listen to the form submit. My form dot add event listener, and I will listen for the submit listener. So submit listener, because it's a form, I can listen for the submit listener also, and we have this type submit is this. So I can listen for the submit listener also. It is like click listener only, but it will means form buttons are special, so it will wait for that thing. Okay, and here I'm not going to do an anonymous function now. I'm going to use a on submit like this, and then function on submit is like e is there, e dot prevent default, e dot prevent default, and again as usual we have to do the e dot prevent default. But I want to show one more thing, console dot log and name input dot value. This is very important, name input dot value. If I do save it, and here I will again inspect console. Name input dot value. See what is name input dot value? Name input dot value. Whatever the user enters, it is stored in this name input, and dot value is that whatever is stored. So that's the reason it is so powerful. It is so powerful. Okay, so that is there, and then now what I want to do, see the user can submit the form like this also. See, I have not filled the email, but I am submitting it like this. So we can do some basic validation, although the validation sometimes are done with some external library, but we can do some basic validations here, and we'll learn how to do that. I have a class of error which is just showing a background and all the background of red color and padding and something. Okay, padding and margin is there. So we're going to use this class, and we're going to see how to use this class. Okay, so what I want, if the name value and the email value, any of them is empty, I want to show a error message that please enter all the fields. So let us do that. Let's remove this. If name input dot value equal to this, or email input dot value triple equal to this, then MSG. MSG is what? MSG, we have done this. Selected is MSG. MSG dot class list dot add error. So this is something in the MSG. So MSG is I am selecting that div. MSG is thus selecting that div, and in that div I am adding one more class. MSG is nothing but that div. In that div I am adding a class of error. So I will show in here how it has been added. Another thing which I'm going to do is msg dot inner html equal to please enter all fields. Please enter all fields. Save it. Now see, I have not entered the email. Okay, I have not entered the email. I'll submit it. Okay, nothing is happening. Okay, function on submit e dot prevent default if name input dot value equal to all. Okay. Okay, this message is there. I will submit it. Why it is not going? Let's debug this. My form.add event is submit is there. On submit, I am calling on submit. I am calling e. It was anyways coming inside it, but suddenly why it is not coming inside it? If input value in name input dot value is triple equal to this, email input dot value triple equal to this. Okay, let me do one thing. Let me see whether it is coming here or not. Console.log. Let me have this thing only. Okay. This is how we debug. Console.log inside on submit. So see, if the first console.log it will hit, that means it is coming inside. Okay, and if the second one is it, then it will means that it is coming inside also. Save it. I'll go to the console, then I'll click it. It is coming at both the places. It means there is some error is there here. Okay, and what is that error? I just got the error actually. The error is like msg.classlist.add error. So I have to, this is a string actually, this will be a string, and then only it will work. So I'll save it. So I just debugged something on the fly. Okay, so this is how we debug it. And anyways, this see, the best way to debug something in any programming language, not in JavaScript, is to add console.log. This is how it comes with experience. Console.log, you add a lot of console.logs and it will do it. There are some other ways also to debugger also, but when I was had coded for a long time in very big projects, I used to love those console.logs. There is some developer used to love those debugger things. So you can put some debuggers and all these things there to debug some thing. And see, this debugger tab is also been shown, but I find it much more difficult. I find this console.log way much more easier. So now if I click here, see, now it is coming. Please enter all the fields. And now let me show one more thing. I'll come here and see, this message is there. This message you're seeing, class of message is there. Empty div of class of message is there. And what does this do? What does this do? Okay, what does this do? Okay, actually I have told that thing. I will tell again also. Okay, one second. So I will do this. I'll do this submit. Okay, I'll do this submit. And I have given this empty. I have not given anything. So it will come inside. And first thing is that it will add. See this closely. I'll add. Error has been added. Error has been added by line 44. Error class has been added. And whenever the error class has been added, this background and all this will be changed. And then the inner HTML I'm changing. Inner HTML is also getting added. So Akshay, I told the prevent default. What is the prevent default? Let me tell again. What is, so let me remove the prevent default. Save it. Now see this this closely, Akshay. See this closely, and I have told. See this thing which my mouse pointer is there closely. Okay, and nothing will work actually. Submit it. You've seen that it is refreshing. This is refreshing. It is coming, but it is going. It is coming, but it is going. It is coming, but it is going. This is what prevent default does. Prevent default comes from the early days of the internet. Early days, PHP was used. Prevent default inside, it is inside a inside this input class of button type of submit is there. Whenever a button from inside a form is been clicked, it refreshes the web page, and it is a very bad behavior both in JavaScript programs, both in React.js program. If in React.js also you refresh something, it is gone. All the data is gone. JavaScript also you refresh something, all the data is gone. We saw that all the data is gone. It came for some time. It came for some time. See, I think you might be able to see this. Came for some time, but it is gone. So e.prevent default is the default behavior of the browser which I am preventing. And this is a mandatory thing which you have to do it in JavaScript or React, or else your program will not work. Hope it is clear. So see, now it is not even coming. So now it is coming. But the thing is that it is showing for a long time. I don't want it to be shown for a long time. It's good to give the user an error, but I don't want that error to be shown for a long time. I want that error to be removed after 5 seconds. I want that error to be removed after 5 seconds. So how to do that? So for that, I have to do, there is set timeout in JavaScript. I have to use that. Set time out is like this. Good, Akshay. It was a good question. But this is something which people find a bit difficult. This is a very good question. 5,000. 5,000 is a lot. 3 seconds I do. What I'm doing right now, I'm using set timeout, and this dot remove we have seen earlier also I was using that remove. I am removing the message, this div. This div only I'm doing. Again, you have to see closely here. I'm removing it after 3 seconds. So let me save it. And where is my, I will again inspect it actually, and inspect it inside this form. Let me expand it actually. Expand it. This message is there. See this message closely. I will again submit it without anything, or maybe something I will do here. So we can see that this is also working. I'll submit it here. So error, and this thing is done. Error, and enter all details. Suddenly it is gone After suddenly not after 3 seconds, to be precise, after 3 seconds it is gone. After 3 seconds the message is in fact the div only is removed. The div with class of message, see, it is removed. That is what we are doing here. I am removing that div after 3 seconds so that user know, okay, I have to enter everything, but that is removed. So this is something which I have done. Now this is done. Now the next thing is to means show the data here. As I've told, in the user list, what is this user list? This empty users. I want to add allies here. So JavaScript is again very powerful. You can add HTML also from JavaScript. Create HTML, not only add, you can create HTML. Else part will run if the user enters both of those things. Then the else part will run. So here I'm going to create my own allies. So const li equal to document dot create element and li I'm going to do. And then okay. So create element is again a function in JavaScript DOM through which I can create the ally tag. So the ally tag I have created. So I want to put in the ally tag some data. So what data? That I am going to create the data. Okay, and const text node maybe equal to document dot create text node. So I'm creating a text. I'm again going to show it here and it will be very much clear. Document dot create text node. Whatever the user have inputted here, whatever the user have inputted the email here, and that I'm creating a text node. Now see what I'm going to do. I'm going to come here and here ally dot append child. In this ally, I'm appending this child text node. This text node, you're soon going to see what is it is there. Okay, so ally dot append child text node I have done. Then okay, then what is there? Okay, user list dot append child ally. So let me save it, and in the user list, I'm appending the child ally. Okay, so it is there. Let me refresh it once, and now I don't know. Okay, I want this thing. So the message and all these things are there, and see this UI. Closely look into this UI, and I'll do anything, email ID, and I'll do submit. See what just happened. uh I lie. So this all the input which I have given, this input async JavaScript and CS, this has been created, and then I'm appending it to the ally. See here inside this ally has been created. This text has came inside the ally, and that ally I am appending it to the UL, which is this user list. So this is how we work in JavaScript. But one problem is that this data is still there. Even I have submitted it, this data is still there. That is not a good user experience. So what we are going to do, we are going to remove it. Okay, so that we are going to do name input dot value equal to like this, and email input dot value is like this. Save it. Now if I even if I refresh it, okay, anyways I will going to go with that. I'll do this. See, the moment I did this, this is gone. Okay, then maybe this, and okay, and I'll do this, and see, this has been done. So this is how means it is working. I think it's a complete application which I've created. And see, the inside this UL, now you'll see two allies are there, so you can add as many allies as you want. Okay, this you can do as many allies as you want. And with this means okay, so okay, let me give the attendance sheet also. Okay, mark your attendance here. Please mark your attendance here. I've given it. Okay. So that is done. So what to do? Okay, we are. I'm going to give this in GitHub and all. So this will be given. That is been done. But let us do a bit more. And okay, so what we are going to do now? Okay, so we are going to do async JavaScript. So what is this async JavaScript? Async JavaScript is a kind of JavaScript in which what happens. So if I want to do some API call and all, so API call actually takes some time to do. It will take around 1 or 2 seconds to do the API call. So API are what? API are those endpoints which are being created by the backend developer. Right now, you should know that much. So they are very popular API endpoint like JSON placeholder is there, and this is the work of backend engineers. They create this API. See, this APIs interact with some databases and all. So this will all interact with some databases and all, and this will give us something like this. So this is not a normal website. When I'm clicking here, I go to the raw data. It will give me the data. So this is how the data is transferred in the internet. So this is how it is transferred. All the data is been transferred in the internet in this way, and we are going to look into how to hit this endpoint. Okay, hit this endpoint, how we are going to do. And we generally hit this endpoint. Okay, I will basically tell from a front end perspective how we are going to use, because I don't want to go much detail into the back end and all. So we have something. So this is a very important thing which I'm telling right now. It is we have to use something like async await. There are two ways to do it. So I'm going to teach the most modern way, which is the async await. So whenever we hit some API endpoint, we get some promises back. We cannot means go and hit the endpoint and get all the data. This data is again coming from some backend. Okay, so how to get this data? So there is something known as fetch. This fetch is there. Okay, this fetch is something which is inbuilt in the browser. With this fetch, what we can do with this fetch, we can means get the data from some API endpoint, because as I've told, the promises will be done. So how to do that? So let us understand that how to do that. And I will do this JavaScript and output here. So this again, we, as you know, this is a very good thing. In this we can do all this nice thing like which what to do in VS Code, and we're going to do this. So I'm going to do a sync await and fetch. We're going to do, and I'll have a function fetch one sec. Okay, so yeah, so fetch users I'll do. Then here const res, maybe I'll increase the font size. Const res equal to await fetch there, and I have to hit this endpoint. There is another good endpoint. Let me hit that users. It is like that only, but you get the users data. So I'll hit this endpoint users, and then this fetch users I'll do, and const data equal to await res.json. So this is very important piece of code. This is how most of the internet works, and this is how means if you learn only this code in JavaScript is more than enough to means hit an API endpoint which the backend engineer will give. See, fetch requires 2 point, means it has, you have to do await. It is await like when you do some hit some API endpoint, it takes 1 or 2 seconds. because it sends us the promises, and this is how the fetch has been written. Okay, and then I will get the data. If I do a console.log also here, I will get the data. I'll show console.log of data. I'll do this much only, and then I'll do fetch users and call this fetch users. But I have to have this async here. I have to have this async here, okay? Because async await you can learn more about it, okay? And then I will also open the console because my data will be coming in the console. So I'll run it here and see. After some time, after 1 second, my whole of my data is coming. Whole of my data is coming. Whatever is there here, whole of my data is coming. And that is something which I can show on the front end. Show on here. Front end means front end. Let me show it in the output only. So for that, when I'm going to teach ES6, I'm going to teach something known as for each also. So but now let us see the data output. So hold on, all these things, mainly the for each I'm going to teach later on also. Data dot for each is there, and item and output plus equal to. So we are going to see this data also now. Okay, so then b, okay, see this b is there, and b just a bold, I'm taking bold tag. So this is how powerful JavaScript is. But the same logic, see, this part is going to have in a React also. We are going to do this part only. So but only the way to show the data will change. Okay, so item dot name, and then p dollar item dot email. Okay, so and after that, although I've done, so output I made this that output as empty string. Then I'm actually looping through it, and there will be many items which I'm putting it here. And then document dot inner html, document dot body, I'm passing it in the body itself. Body, actually my body is like where is the body is like empty, so I'm passing it in the body. Document dot body dot inner html equal to output. To the output I have done. And then if I now run with JS, so see, it is all the data has been shown here. Okay, let me do it here. So what is the difference between for in and for off loop? So for in and for off loop means for in, I don't remember that much, but for in, for off loop is like item of that thing. But both for in and for off loop we don't use that much nowadays. We use something known as for each nowadays. For each is very much popular, which we use. So you should also use this for each, which just came with ES6. See, this is very powerful. For each I'm going to show in detail. Okay, so that is there, and means we are going to see this in detail. And we are actually we are going to end here today, and hope you liked it. Please do subscribe to my channel and do like this video so that I can keep on helping people to become a web app developer. And we will do ES6 tomorrow, which is a very important thing in JavaScript before starting with React next week. So ES6 tomorrow before and then React. And I will also tell the projects. I have all the projects on my channel. I will also tell what projects you need to do, what the projects you need to do to become a developer, because all those projects are also there.